another series I'm doing where I make empires of different videos. This time I got suggested with a comment that I should do the ROC, known as Taiwan or Republic of China, or why some people call it fake China, which I don't know if I don't see it as China, I see it as Taiwan. Yeah. So, throughout this whole video, Taiwan will be painted red, as you know, so you will know what nation will be painted. Alliances will not be here, and so why can't I speak? And Taiwan will be the strongest country in the world, since I want to buff them. So, the Taiwan government would start their naval expansions and would quickly declare war on South Korea. Out of all nations, they declare war on South Korea. But who else that joins the war is North Korea. They both are attacking South Korea. Since North Korea is closer to South Korea, they push in first out of all nations. And I don't know where Seoul is, but they push in, but later Taiwan would also arrive at the Korean peninsula. Taiwan would encircle the city of Busan and quickly would capture the city. I think Seoul is like over here or here. So Taiwan would make a move towards Seoul, as North Korea would also, as he also pushes down here. Then South Korea would take the rest, and the Korean War would end. Now I'm gonna do the peace treaty. This would be the peace treaty, drawing like a straight line between the two, and the nation would benefit the most from this would be Taiwan, as they started the war. And yeah, Taiwan would not just want to do that. They would then declare war at Vietnam, as it would be beneficial if Taiwan would have more power in the South China Sea to later take on China. The Taiwanese. Oops, wrong too. The Taiwanese Navy would make a landing on the most eastern part of Vietnam, as they would easily cut off the. I was gonna say panhandle, but the entirety of Vietnam is a panhandle. As this area was now exposed from the militia in the north, it would easily fall under the Taiwanese forces. I wonder if Taiwanese is even the right choice of word, as this is a very easy defendable position for Vietnam. The force would stop there, but to able to actually move forward, they would make a landing here on the Taiwanese coast. They would move towards there, as they would then cut off that and would move south from this point. most of the troops would now have to redirect from the fronts, and the area would be lost to Vietnam. Lost to Taiwan, and the Vietnamese nation would surrender. Now it's time for the peace treaty. This is how the peace treaty will go, as most of Vietnam will go to Taiwan, but the rest of it would be a puppet state of Taiwan now. As we all know, or what am I trying to say? I'm not trying to say anything. Taiwan would now need to furthermore able to take over of the South China Sea, so Taiwan has a better chance to crush the Chinese Navy. The Taiwanese government would send an ultimatum to the Philippines, as they grabbing the northern islands. The Philippines would decline this offer, and now they would be at war with the Philippines. They would now land on the northern tip of Philippines, as they would go down the coast as trying to surround the Filipino troops, and with success they would almost do that. But they would then break through from them, but I don't know where I'm going with this. They would be encircled, as the area of the troops can be in would get smaller and smaller until they were gone. I wonder how many. As that was most of the Filipino troops, the Taiwanese forces would easily roll through the Philippines until they eventually surrendered. The peace treaty would go with this, as Taiwan only wanted these islands from the start, but it's a punishment that they didn't accept the ultimatum. They eventually lost more. Actually, I think I'm gonna take this island too. More punishment. And the Taiwanese Empire would eventually look like this. And finally, to the moment, they would now declare war against China. That's a big enemy. And I mean a big enemy. Yeah, I don't know why I'm zooming out. The puppet state of Vietnam and the oh damn, that was a big pen, would now push into the southern part of China at the Vietnamese border. They would easily take this island from them, and they would secure naval dominance in the South China Sea, as they own the most land there, if we don't count Malaya. They would make landings all around the coast and take Macau. I don't know why it's in the map, since it's very small. And the South China Sea coast China has will be under Taiwanese occupation now. They would then move more inwards to the country and eventually take all of this. Don't know what important is here. Maybe someone's home that's watching this video. And the region would fall under Taiwanese occupation after some months of fighting. As they would also make a landing near Beijing, which, as I know, is about here, or here. I think it's here. As now the China would now have to more focus their forces at the capital. They would also make a landing here, but who more enter this war is India. Against China. Yes, India enters the war against China. But India would have a tough time. Now the Taiwanese army would steamroll through here since they now have to focus their troops at Beijing. And now India would start their push around here. That was a big brush. They would push through the rain and actually meet up with the Vietnam forces, and this border would be captured by, even though there's mountains here, we don't care. They would also go around here to around the Himalayas. I don't know if Himalayas even touch Pakistan or not. If they do, then it would be hard to go here. They would go around, and some units would go through the Himalayas, as this was, even though gonna be unsuccessful anyways. Now back to the Taiwan. They would keep moving up the coast and getting valuable economic stuff, and this would start moving south, as they would then connect, and supply lines would be easily possible, even though they could do it with naval. What was I painting there? Then this would go down to secure the border with North Korea, to make sure, so if North Korea enters the war, they won't be able to occupy this. Beijing would be very threatened by the invading troops, and basically all of this would be fallen. China would realize it has no way of succeeding in this, and they would eventually surrender. Now it's time for the peace treaty. So this would be the treaty between the China wars. India would get this land, as they would release this nation. I don't know what nation it is, as Taiwan will also gain a lot of lands from this invasion, as well with that island, coast, Macau, I guess, that being very close to Beijing, and they would get a new Chinese puppet in the south bordering the Vietnamese. I think that will be it for this video. This video is maybe kinda short, would be more fun if it was a little longer, but that will have to do. So I will say bye, have a great time. and we'll see when I come back.